Hello, my name is Crystal Blanchard, and my topic is Penn's Treaty with the Indians by Benjamin West. So this is a neoclassical painting that Benjamin West had painted. In the painting, right smack dab in the middle, we have William Penn, and he's seeking to create a Quaker community when he first arrived. So, in the painting, it is shown that he is negotiating peacefully with the natives of that land. So, on the left side of the painting, it is full of the Quaker settlers, and on the right, it is full of the Native Americans. So, these aren't just a specific group of Native Americans, it's actually multiple groups. So it's not like it's a whole bunch of like Native American groups put together. So it is written in history that Penn wanted to compensate the Native Americans for their land, even though he didn't have to do it, because he was given that land by the king at the current time. But he did so anyway. He wanted to compensate them anyway because he thought it was morally correct, which I found very compelling. So this painting right now resides in the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, and it was painted in 1771 and it was finished in 1772. So there is a myth behind this painting. The myth behind this painting is that in 1682, William Penn and his followers meet with the Lenape, I'm not really sure I'm saying that correctly, so sorry, and the Delaware peoples under the great elm tree at Shakamoxon. Sorry, I'm not saying that correctly either, probably. And in exchange for gifts, they trade for the land that will become Pennsylvania. So, in this painting, you can also see when they are negotiating, they're doing it so peacefully by the gesture of their hands. You can see that by the way their hands are held, that they're negotiating. And then down by one of the Native Americans' foot in the middle, where he is sitting, there is weapons laid on the ground, and he is also holding some sort of pipe, which smoke coming out of it. So this is symbolizing that they're negotiating very peacefully. There was no need for weapons. They were just there talking it out, saying, hey, I'll take this and you can get the land. So, going again, looking at the hand gestures, they're very detailed. Benjamin West wanted this to be very, very detailed, and he did so beautifully. So an interesting fact about this piece, it was actually painted 100 years after this so-called meeting had taken place. There's a reason why I called it so-called, and I'll get to that in a minute. So, the reason why it had taken 100 years, it was painted 100 years after the fact, is because it was commissioned by the son of William Penn, Thomas Penn. He had talked to Benjamin West saying, hey, I want you to paint this for me. There's a big reason why he wanted this painted, and it's not a good reason either. So he wasn't Thomas Penn, which is William Penn's son, he wasn't having the best relationship with the natives because he wasn't taking things so very fair. He wasn't like his father for some reason. I'm not sure why, but he just wasn't. So Thomas Penn ended up commissioning Benjamin West to paint the painting as a tribute to his father. That's not the only reason. So he did this. The reason he really wanted this painting done is because at this time he was, at the time, the Penn family legacy was at risk. Not just because the second generation had less generous and less equitable relationships with the Native Americans and the indigenous communities, but also because he was facing hard times with Quaker leadership in Pennsylvania. Ooh, sorry, big words. So, yeah, he basically just wanted his painting done to show the people that, hey, look, my ancestors, my father was doing good things. So that means I can do good things for you. He's basically just trying to showboat himself. I mean, he was trying to make himself seem better than he really was, which is not the greatest. I mean, he also did it in tribute to his father, which is good, but the main reason he wanted it done was for that reason specifically, and that's not good. So in the painting, you can also see the goods, which are basically really fine fabrics. Benjamin West, really wanted these things very finely detailed. You can see right there in the middle, there is white fabric. It's very beautiful. And then a little bit off to the background, but it's still there in the middle, you can see one Native American carrying a green piece of fabric with him, and he's starting to wear it. And then off way in the background, there's a mother who's wearing a very beautiful, like, navy, maybe even royal blue cloak around her while she's feeding her child, and her other child is wearing a very bright yellow piece of fabric. And he wanted this very detailed because he wanted to show what they were getting out of the deal. Now, I'm pretty sure that's not all they got. I'm sure they got, like, copper tin, copper pots and things like that, certain other things. But here's the catch. The reason why it's believed this painting is mythical is because this actually never took place in this certain spot. Now, the meaning probably did take place, but just not the way that the painting depicts. Most scholars agree that this particular moment really never happened. The meeting under the tree, they believe that it was probably a total myth, which is very interesting to me. I'm wondering, did it actually happen? Who knows? Okay, now I want to talk to you a little bit about the artist, Benjamin West. So, he was born in Springfield, Pennsylvania, in the year of 1738, and he died in London, England, in the year of 1820. Excuse me. He mostly worked in England. His painting subjects were mostly consisted of mythological and historical events. So, when he first started, he started painting out portraits for people in Philadelphia. When he saw the work of, where he also saw the work of William Williams, Gustav, and John Husserl, I'm probably not saying that correctly, and John Wollaston. So at the age of 22, he decided, I want to go to Italy. So he traveled to Italy to further his training. This was done and made possible by his rich friends and patrons, which helped him get through his career a lot. So after his training, he was on his way home. He decided, okay, I'm going to go home now to America, but they made a stop in England where he started making big success, and he decided to stay there because of this success. Excuse me. So after he painted his historical painting, the one I just mentioned, in this new neoclassical style, I'm sorry, I did forget to mention that, it is neoclassical. The painting style is neoclassical. It eventually grew so popular that even King George III wanted to see it. He got interested, like, hey, who's this guy? What's this painting about? within 5 years, he became a charter member of the Royal Academy. This is really cool. And this leads to big opportunities for him. So, as a result of the acclaim to his painting later on, the death of General Wolfe, West was appointed to a historical painter to the king in 1772. Isn't that awesome? And he was even given residence at Windsor Castle. I thought that was super amazing when I found this out. So, later he became the president of the Royal Academy in 1792. He also ended up teaching more American painters that came over to England and learned some things, and that's where he made his home pretty much, and he also died there, like I mentioned. And that is all I have for my presentation. I do want to ask you all a question, though, to think about. Do you all think that this painting is based on a myth, or do you think this event actually took place? Now, you can answer it this way too. Did it maybe take place, but in a different way also? That's just a little something to think about. Thank you.